So I want to spin this video talking about Packers wide receiver Amari Rodgers. I have some quotes to go through from the Packers wide receiver coach from a press conference in the past couple of days where he basically broke down how Amari Rodgers has grown and sort of what he thinks could, sort of happen with him coming into this next season. But I think when we look back last year to 2022 or 2021, the Packers come in the draft, use their third-round draft pick on Amari Rodgers, and I think some people thought, okay, maybe he could be able to come in his first season and put up some numbers. Not crazy numbers, but put up some numbers. Davante was still there. But when the Packers initially drafted Amari Rodgers, Randall Cobb wasn't currently on the team. It wasn't until a few months later, right before training camp, when Aaron Rodgers says he wants Cobb back. The Packers end up trading for Randall Cobb from the Houston Texans. Cobb comes back. And so there's no question, considering Amari Rodgers is pretty much mainly a slot receiver. He can play the Z, as Jason Vrabel said a few days ago, but mainly a slot receiver. Randall Cobb sort of, jumped ahead of him on the depth chart. And he was a rookie, of course, and so I think that was sort of tough to expect a rookie to, out-compete a player, Randall Cobb, who has that knowledge, who has, years and years in the league, and who has that connection with Aaron Rodgers. So maybe if Randall Cobb wasn't there, Amari Rodgers would have taken some more steps forward in his first year and had some more playing time. But who knows? But if we take a look at his first year, he only had 103 offensive snaps, had 4 receptions for 45 yards. He spent more time on special teams, where he had 20 punt returns for 166 yards and 11 kick returns for 199 yards. So now the question is, will he take a step forward coming into next year? So I have a quote here from Packers Wire from Jason Vrabel. He says this: "He's taking those steps right now. I feel really good about Amari," Vrabel said Thursday. "Randall Cobb bumped me the other day and was like, 'Yo, you can feel it from him.' I just smiled. It's just the start right now." Then he says this: "Biggest thing we worked on. I talked to him in the offseason. How do you get your confidence? Well, you work and train harder than you ever did," Vrabel said. So if you were to see him right now, he's already looks faster and stronger than he ever did. He's in the best shape of his life. His mindset is, I'm going to be the number one guy at all 3 positions. He has that going for him. His route running is already cleaner and crisper. He's trained an entire offseason. So I think it's easy to look at a player's past season and say, okay, they didn't perform that well last year. They're not going to perform that well this year. But when I think we take into account, the steps that Amari Rodgers has taken forward, the fact that he has improved his route running, the fact that he's been in this offense, been able to, to learn from Randall Cobb, to learn from other wide receivers, to, get this offense down, he's probably going to play a lot faster, because lots of these guys say, once they have that playbook under you, and things just are a lot easier and you're playing a lot more fluidly. So he has that going for him. He's stronger. He's a better route runner. And so maybe we're underestimating, just how good he could be in 2022, because I think, of course, when Davante Adams leaves, the question is, what are the Packers going to do to replace Davante, which is the right question to ask, I think. Come in, sign Sammy Watkins, great sign, cheap sign. Christian Watson drafted, Romeo Doubs drafted, Samori Toure drafted, and I think it's easy to forget about Amari Rodgers just because he didn't perform at a high level in 2021. But I think when we look that he had, compared to the rookies, he's now had a whole year in the offense. He's been able to learn, he's been able to grow. So maybe he comes in 2021 and, comes in and does much better than lots of people expect, considering he didn't really do too much last year. So hopefully we see that step forward from him, because I think if the Packers can just have all these wide receivers competing for these spots, obviously they're all going to get better. I think competition does make everyone better, because you're, trying to compete for those roster spots. And considering there are some openings now with Davante gone, it's going to be interesting to see, if Amari Rodgers does come in and, get some more playing time. I assume he will, considering Davante is gone, and considering from Vrabel saying this, it seems like Amari Rodgers is taking steps in the right direction. So I feel like we shouldn't underestimate him coming into this next year. So we will see what Amari Rodgers does. But let me know your thoughts on Amari Rodgers in coming into the season, what you think he could, do when it comes to stat-wise. I'll be curious to hear that. But that is all for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and I'll see you guys next time.